Welcome to my vagina. I'm Jessy Karen.
I'm Rebecca Frank. Here we are again, having our current hysterical, infuriating conversation about our lives as vagina-having organisms.
I always see that as orgasms. All content made up on the spot, but probably researched. Just kidding. It's definitely researched.
Welcome to my vagina.
I'm pretty sure I victim blamed a giraffe.
Tell me more.
I felt really guilty about it.
Bad feminist, bad feminist.
Because this giraffe is like off all alone in the middle of like the desert, the
Savannah.
Namib.
I feel like it's probably Namib.
Namib. So, watching Planet Earth, and this giraffe is just chilling all on its own in the middle of the Namib desert. It doesn't sound right when I say it.
No.
And you know, and these lions are like coming from all different sides of it, and I'm thinking, well, what did you expect, giraffe? You're out here all by yourself.
In the dark.
In the dark.
And look at that skirt.
Yeah, look at that skirt. What are you wearing? Look at all those spots. You're just a target.
Asking for
these lions to attack you. And then as I'm thinking this, I just like kind of looked down and I was ashamed. So that was my weekend. I victim blamed a giraffe. Because I'm a bad feminist.
Reminds me of that guy. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but that guy who was telling me, you know, when all the like Me Too movement stuff's coming out and people are actually listening to women and it's, and you know, surprise. And instead of it being in like, as I like to call the pink media off on like our special women centered pages, it was actually in like regular big boy media.
Ooh.
So men were seeing it.
What?
And this dude was like, goes,
not just like everybody's media.
Yeah, exactly. This dude goes, well, you know, I'm hearing about all this stuff happening to women, and I just wanted to tell you. So here I am, you know, like a full-on adult, having gone through puberty like 20 years ago, and oh god, I'm so old. Anyway, he goes to me, I have a piece of advice for you.
No.
You should put keys in between your fingers in case somebody attacks you. And I looked at him and I was like, motherfucker, I've been doing that shit since I was 12. I was like, I have had mace, pepper spray, a switchblade in my bag. You think you're giving me some advice? Fucking keys between my fingers. So I was in Austin, and I had this crazy dream, and in the dream I was like, this is fucking genius. So my Aunt Catherine, whenever she was talking about, you know, a woman that she, or a man really, that she found distasteful, she would just be like, person is just to see you next Tuesday. And I always thought it was so funny. And I had this dream that we were talking, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, Jessy, we should start releasing our podcast on Tuesdays so that when we're, you know, so all of our regular vaginalings who listen to us all the time will be like, see you next Tuesday.
It's fucking genius.
Everyone will know that we're just saying cunt, but sneaky.
So that's our new release date, guys.
Tuesdays.
So we can say see you next Tuesday.
Literally, that's the only reason.
Yeah, cunts.
And what was crazy, it's like, you know, you have a dream sometimes and you come up and like in your dream, you've come up with the best possible idea. And in your dream, you're like, I'm so fucking smart. This is genius. I'm going to take over the world. Like, I thought of this business plan. You wake up in the morning and you're like, that
was
shit
a terrible
is fucking
idea.
Stupid.
Yep.
No, I woke up in the morning and was even more enthusiastic in real life. I was like when?
More impressed with yourself.
Yeah, I was like, when is it going to be a reasonable time for me to text Jessy and tell her about this? Because this shit's got to happen.
It's sweet that you think that, because I just text you at all hours of the night and just like assume that you'll wake up to like 20 text messages from me.
It's like a magnet. You just click. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
I feel like I'm going to lead in our topic with my mom. I know in our last episode, I kind of mentioned that my mom wasn't always a big fan of Welcome to My Vagina, but she's coming around.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. I'm kind of enjoying this newfound interest. But my mom called me the other day, and I had to immediately call Rebecca because I thought it was the cutest fucking thing in the world.
It's so good.
And she was like, Jessy, me and my boyfriend really need to know where the word pussy came from. Do you know? And I had to say I did not.
And I also did
Mom,
not.
I did not.
Yeah.
I do not, and I should. And I'm going to fix that for you.
Yeah.
What are the origins of the word pussy?
Yeah. I mean, I have to tell you guys, I had a fucking blast sitting at my computer. My boyfriend's like doing like all this work about trying to get fucking cars and flights and whatever the fuck he's doing. And I'm like over here researching pussy and like the etymology of it. And every time I thought about etymology, I thought about cookies. Because it sounds like Entenmann's.
Oh, wow. That's a stretch. Start this shit.
So
you got synonyms for cats found
got,
in European languages.
I got some synonyms here, and I've got
synonyms. Now that makes me think about
Cinnamon.
Cookies. Somebody get Rebecca a cookie.
I know.
Jesus.
I really need one. We looked into the Oxford English Dictionary. We're just starting off with the easy shit, guys. So informally, the word pussy is just a cat.
Yeah.
But then you got yourself the vulgar slang. Jessy?
Vulgar. Why is it vulgar?
Vulgar slang.
A woman's genitals, because
women
in general are just considered vulgar.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, sexually, but this is my favorite one: weak, cowardly, or effeminate man.
Right. So
it's used as a slur against effeminate men. I mean, yeah, because men use it especially as a slur against other men they deem effeminate or cowardly, like we said earlier. And a lot of slurs or phrases that we use to insult men have to do with comparing them to women, and thus in our society basically calling them weak. You know, like pussy, or you throw like a girl, or you kick like a girl, run like a girl, that bullshit that's dehumanizing to women, or just reducing us to a faceless herd of cattle. Let's go and get some pussy, dudes.
Yeah, right. So I think this is kind of where we get to, you know, where it was used for a long time.
It is, but before we get into that,
can
I just ask a question, because I'm just curious. At what point did somebody be like, yeah, a vagina looks like a cat? Like, why is it a cat? Maybe I'm not asking the question the right way, but like, do I get to choose my own furry animal?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe
like, why is it
it's somehow related to vagina dentata.
Is it because we're independent and scary
and we don't give a fuck?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. If that's the reason, then I'm just.
Is it because we're independent? We don't trust you.
I'm just one giant pussy. So there's this idea that the word comes from Pusillanimous, which I'd never heard that word. Had you ever heard that before?
I've never heard that word before.
Heard it. It's an adjective. And it means showing a lack of courage or determination. So it sounds to me that people decided what it's like. It's doing it the opposite way, right? Deciding what the definition is, and then finding a word that somehow will fit that. We found this woman with a Tumblr account called Nerdloveandlolz. Lolz with a Z.
It's my favorite Tumblr account name.
Yeah, go for it.
But she says it doesn't make sense grammatically because Pusillanimous is an adjective and pussy is a noun, but not if you're using it as a slur. Then it's an adjective to describe an effeminate man.
Right. Or if you're using it and then we have to think about, do we consider it a slur? It can be used, just like cunt, it can be used as a slur or not a slur depending on the inflection and who's doing the calling.
Right.
So then, like, if you're referring to the noun pussy, then it doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Merriam-Webster says that pussy's short for pussycat, and that is not short for
pussycat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat?
Nerdloveandlolz says that if, in fact, pussy is short for pussycat, that does not allow it to also be short for pusillanimous. Although I feel like that would make a really...
Wait, if what?
If the word pussy is, as what Merriam-Webster says, if it's actually a shortened form of pussycat, then it can't also be short for pusillanimous.
Right.
This isn't like a super solid point. I just wanted to use the word pusillanimous a little bit
just
more.
One more time.
Yeah,
Pusillanimous.
It was important.
Puss means pocket.
I know. I really see, like,
that makes the most sense to me.
That makes a lot of sense because you could keep stuff in there.
I'm still so curious. I'm still so curious how pussycat and our vulvas got compared.
Yeah, I didn't find actually any of that. I found
it's because we're impossible to domesticate. Yeah. Nobody ever calls a cat a pussy.
Well, but
I mean, you do it in jest.
Right, but that's the thing. Do we not call a cat a pussy because now the dominant definition of pussy has actually been women's genitalia, and so calling a cat a pussy actually has it's giggle inducing.
Rebecca,
Jessy,
what would you put in your internal pocket?
I've been thinking about this a lot.
Good to know.
And I have a couple of concerns.
Okay. Like sharp.
Yeah,
things?
like sharpness, things that could like be broken down in some way. But I'm wondering if we're talking about like, what would I put in my pocket, like in a universe in which it could just safely be stored there, or in reality when, you know.
Well, I don't want to store anything in their reality except for that like new sex toy that has like a button. But I would have to really trust the person. Trust that person.
Someone could fuck with you.
Somebody would really fuck with you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Could you imagine you're at work and some dude walks and is like, zzz, and you're like,
fuck. Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. This shit.
You put that in your pocket.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad idea.
I had this moment and like I felt ashamed of myself. I was like, I might keep snacks in there.
This guy already.
I don't think that I'd want to keep snacks in there.
Ooh.
Would you keep snacks?
I would want to keep snacks in there. That's what I was thinking. I was like, could I like store
some nuts? Store some nuts up in there.
I'm always storing nuts in there.
Yeah, just like have some. Be like, I'm hungry. Reach on up there, pull out some almonds.
Always hungry for nuts.
Okay.
Okay. She's a squirrel. I'm sorry. I'm done.
That's it.
See, that's what I would want. Not a pussy cat.
You'd want a squirrel?
Yeah, because it's funnier because my my vagina's like a squirrel. She's always hungry for nuts.
Yeah, that is funnier.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we should.
I want to be able to choose my own animal.
Mine would be a porcupine. I think my vagina might be an asshole.
Okay, Kory Stamper
of
of Merriam-Webster told Huffington Post that the etymology of pussy isn't known definitively, which seems odd, but is somewhat common with taboo words.
Which is like, I mean, kind of what we're like on about here in general, you know, getting to the bottom of taboos because we don't actually define shit when people are uncomfortable about it.
Well, and this is why I think words are super important. And you'll see for the journey of this word that it took from what we're going to say is a term of endearment of a young girl and morphed into a part that should be seen as shameful to what is now something you call someone when you think of as weak and cowardice.
Right.
But it's not even just that word, cunt. Sorry, I'm going to find it because I don't want to fuck up the countries.
Country.
But cunt is related to words from India, China, Ireland, Rome, and Egypt. And such words were either titles of respect for women, priestesses, and witches, which I love, or derivatives of the names of various goddesses. And it was synonymous with the word for woman, but not in the insulting, like, modern sense of it. And so many of words for women have been co-opted, like bitch and whore.
Yeah.
Have also shared a similar fate.
Yeah, and been turned into, I mean, I think this is a really important thing, is like a lot of these words that were at one point, like you're saying, used as like a term of endearment or something nice or
had
respectful.
Totally positive associations about women.
They are then turned into violent language because depending on how you deliver the word whore or bitch or cunt, those are venomous words with a lot of like anger and meanness and violence behind them.
Right. But they weren't originally.
Right.
And so that's what I find really
so
fascinating, actually, is that like all of these things started out as a positive term or like high status or like just being a woman or like words for an anatomical thing and became something disparaging towards women.
Right. And it's, you know, it's all about, we've said this so many times, that language matters. And so, you know, if all of our language is around demeaning and diminishing women, then you end up, then the reality comes to pass that if we spend all of this time using language that makes women feel lesser than and casts them in kind of a servile sort of arena or whatever, then that's the way that we treat those people in real life. It just, you know, language precedes a lot of it. So Stamper, still talking about it, was saying that that etymologists thought that the word pussy came from a Scandinavian language, which Jessy had said earlier, that it's similar to pussy, which would mean either pocket or vulva. So, but that's another thing, talking back, like when we talk about if the parallel word is vulva, but when people say pussy, I always think that they're talking about the external. Well, that's right then. So that would make
vulva
sense.
Is the external. Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Yeah.
But pocket would
pocket
not.
would be vagina.
Right. So which one is it?
Our anatomical things are all fucked up.
I know. It's really jacked.
I mean, there are so many people who don't know the proper terms for those things. I mean, I had a friend recently, and she's a smart, intelligent woman, had no idea what a vulva was, which was blew my mind.
Yeah,
that's crazy, and it's not her fault. It's our society. Like, that's insane that we didn't. And honestly, as a person who talks about vaginas a lot
all the time,
I really didn't know that until midway through my research.
Yeah, I mean, you educated yourself.
I did, of course. Yeah, I had to.
Right.
But I went in deep. Like, I have a show called Welcome to My... I wish everyone could have seen Rebecca's face. She was not going to let me get away with that. But yeah, like, I just went back to one of my old videos, and I was like, oh, wow, you still had no idea. Like, you probably knew more than most people, and you still have no idea yet. Yeah,
I mean, it's really, and I actually don't think, like, even though there is a lot more access to research and knowledge about male genitalia, we don't talk about enough of that stuff in general in school. So
hell no.
And we had talked in an earlier episode about girls going to Canada and learning about their own sexuality and all this other stuff, and you think back about like sex ed and like health class and all of that shit, and it's like, it would really have done all of us a really big favor to
stop trying to make the sex ed teacher blush.
Yeah, or right? Because, well, think about it, though. Most of my sex ed teachers were female, and it's like, don't you want to pass along the gift of the orgasm to the students and like tell them a little bit more about what the whole fucking deal is, so that they can pleasure each other and themselves?
I truly think that if you keep something from a group of people, the more they're going to want to do it. For instance, like our alcohol situation, like how strict it is. And I think this way too, where you're keeping something that's, you're not going to stop kids from having sex.
Right.
If they want to have sex.
Yeah.
So teach them how to do it safely.
I mean, there's a hole in a stick, and everyone likes to put a stick in a hole.
Of course. Like, nobody's going to not do that. If I had a stick, I would put it. No, I'm just kidding. Wow. Wow.
That just went somewhere.
I'm ashamed. Everything I've been fighting for. I'm just going to leave the room. Bye.
That's it. Bye. See you next Tuesday.
Bye. I'm uncomfortable. But especially like young girls, like, it would have been nice for me to have found my sexuality at a younger age. And I think it would have been less, there's so much shame filled in with it that you feel all this guilt.
So I found this really fun word.
Pudenda?
Pudenda from 1879. Pudenda. So it's from, also pocket and pouch. So awesome. But perhaps instead they thought, okay, so they were like, well, it could be pocket or pouch, or it also could be from the cat word, the notion of soft, warm, furry thing.
Sure.
Which sounds, I mean...
Yeah, compare to French word le chat.
Yeah, cat. Exactly. So it could be either a pocket or a soft, warm, furry thing.
Feline or genital.
Yeah. So then their absence... So there's this thing called Grose, Grose, but it's a capital G, and I looked it up.
P.S. I had a moment when I was reading this where I was like, does Rebecca actually expect me to know what the word gross means?
Yeah, but then
then I saw that you said that you don't know what it means either, so I felt great about it.
This actually says the absence of pussy in gross, parentheses, I don't know what this word means and can't seem to figure it out, end parenthesis. I spent like
pussy
5 minutes.
Equals gross.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's where it comes from. Maybe that's where I should have just stopped.
Yeah.
That's the original thing. Just means gross. So anyway, it starts getting fun when I was like really having fun with pudendum.
Pudenda.
It's the external genital organs, especially those of the female vulva, and then its origins are from 1350 to 1400.
Where is this?
The Middle English.
I see.
Which is, the special use of neuter of the Latin pudendus, because etymologists are crazy. But it refers to the shameful parts, in quotes. So I mean that's kind of where, I mean, I can't imagine that people went back to 1350 pudendus to come up with the idea of it being the shameful parts, but this is where it gets, this is where we get into kind of what what we were looking for a little bit.
Back in the 19th century, it was used as a term of endearment, though, in mainstream literature.
So, but the other thing,
what do you think, pussy? Said her father to Ava.
Her father said that.
I had a really upchuck moment there when I thought about my dad calling me a pussy endearingly.
I know.
Wretch.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the interesting thing. So now what's crazy is we've got the internet and all this other shit. And so, like, evolution of slang happens a lot faster. But this word could have we could have used it as pussy in, like, the endearing way, but also as the shameful parts from somewhere else. And maybe, like, it just took longer for the shameful parts word to travel. I don't know. Or it might not be from pudenda at all. This is all just a theory because
we don't really know.
Right, because what
so we don't
Kory
have
Stamper what Kory Stamper said was that a lot of times it's really, really hard to figure out the root of these sorts of words because they're not written down.
Right.
And they're used for so long linguistically and in conversation before there's actually any sort of, like, word trail.
Right.
And so it's hard to figure out where they started and at what point they morphed.
And this one morphed hard.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but then when we look at pudendum, like the noun, so now this makes more sense than pusillanimous or whatever the fuck it was, because it's the same part of speech. But it's coming from all of this idea of like being the shameful parts. It's coming from like Middle English, and then also from the Pi root, which I learned is Proto-Indo-European languages. So it refers to the basic parts of words that carry specific lexical meaning, so we can trace, words back and figure out where they originally came from. But looking at that, it was the same. That looking at those Pi roots, it's the same. Like, literally, it's a thing to be ashamed of, or if we're doing another form of it, it's to make ashamed or be ashamed, from the Pi root to punish or repulse.
Dudes.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we don't have, like, again, the full answer to this, but I mean, I think we actually did a pretty good job here.
Yeah.
Because
we traced a lot of it.
Yeah, and it got to what we kind of, sometimes you have an idea of where something's going to go, and then you find the path there. So now we've just figured out where it is that, like, through the word pudendum, where it is that pussy became a derogatory kind of demeaning word.
Do it.
Jessy, I have some thoughts on this.
Do it.
Your mom asked us a really good question.
She did.
Which we knew at the time was good, but now that we researched it,
Good question, Mom.
We've discovered that it's even better than we had originally thought.
Thanks, Mom.
Because it brought us to this super duper interesting word story, which is that the word pussy has long been associated with women, but it morphed from being a term of endearment, which didn't have any sort of sexual connotations, to what it is now, which is a slang that has been interpreted differently depending on who says it, in what way, to whom, and etc. So it's super interesting to think that it possibly comes from a word meaning pocket, because, as we said, we could store stuff in there and sneak them in and out of places.
Yeah.
The possibilities are fucking endless. But then looking deeper into the word pudenda gives us an explanation as to why this word became derogatory in the first place. And that gives us a relatively far back reference as to when women started being made to feel shameful of their genitalia. So, for all the time that people talk about, like, oh, it's just semantics, oh, whatever, it's just a word. This tells us that words fucking matter. So
words do matter.
Yeah.
I think we should seize this word back.
Yeah.
I mean, just to add another responsibility to our docket.
Right?
It's like seizing our vocabulary back, because, manipulating it to serve your community, it can be very powerful.
Yeah.
But it was our word. It is our word. And honestly, they just started putting it in newspapers, I think, like less than 10 years ago.
Yeah. But even when, I mean, one of the funniest things to do when that whole Donald Trump's grab him by the pussy comment came out was to watch on-air news anchors contort themselves to try and not use the word pussy, because they couldn't use it on TV. And they wouldn't use the actual word either, because they can't use that. They also wouldn't say, like, they would use the word genitalia or something, but it's like, he's obviously, like, it's obvious to everyone what he's saying, so just fucking stop beating around the bush and say it.
She just fist bumped the air.
I sure did.
I think it's super satisfying to totally snag a reviled word and elevate it to a status which all women should rightfully experience in society. So I think we should defend the honor of pussy.
Yeah.
Lay my sword down. It's ours. Do with what we want.
Oh, words are neat.
Yeah, words are neat.
Yeah, that was a good question, Mom.
Yeah.
While we're talking about this,
Guys,
you guys
what?
should send us emails at welcometomyvagina@gmail.com if you have questions about things that you're curious of, like backgrounds of words or topics or laws or whatever, things that you find super interesting that you want to know more but don't feel like doing the research on. We love doing research. Let us do it. We'll talk about it.
Why won't you let us do it?
Yeah, stop
why are you
standing
trying to
in our way.
Stop. Why?
We're good at this.
We're like great
Stop
at this.
holding us down. We need to breathe.
Pussy is a word, it used to have so much power over me, like grossed me out, and yet it was titillating, and I felt like I had Christmas lights inside me. Like now I'm just dead inside. Pussy. Who cares?
Where's pussy? Pussy.
Puss.
Pussy. Pussy. Say what? Say what? We're gonna say some words for the anatomical thing between our legs. It's called a pussy. I don't know what that was.
I don't know either.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Fanny. Foof. Too late now.
JJ. Bearded clam. Oh my god.
I feel bad taking this from you, but penis flytrap.
You bitch.
Front bottom.
Axe wound. I know that one.
I never heard that one. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Whispering eye.
A penis snuggie.
Aww.
That's kind of cute.
Lady garden.
Pussy and cunt are both starred out. That's so funny.
Really?
Yeah. Panty hamster.
Growler?
Notorious VHE.
Sperm sucker, cum craver,
Sperm sucker.
man in the boat,
Jesus.
cock
like a
holster,
vacuum.
jewel box, Velcro love triangle,
Vertical smile.
hairy donut, amorama, okay,
Sausage wallet.
chicken's tongue, meat crease,
Chicken's tongue.
the Twatlantic Ocean,
A dildo hotel. I kind of like
snail,
that.
cuntzilla,
Cuntzilla.
douche luge,
Ew. Fish.
yeah,
I
the
don't eat-
condo
doesn't sound
downstate, mossy jaw,
Badly packed kebab.
hot tamaki walk,
French fry dip.
buffalo gums,
Stench trench. Oh.
that's not good.
Oh.
Sausage wallet.
Soggy box. I think I came on the wrong ones. Oh,
Yeah.
hippo's yawn.
You came on the wrong one. Funny.
Wow, I'm whipping them
yeah,
out today.
you are. Cupid's cupboard.
Tampon tunnel.
Ooh. Where Uncle's doodle goes.
Cocksocket.
No.
Where what?
Where Uncle's doodle goes.
Oh, dear
That's
God,
Fucking
no.
terrible. Silk igloo.
Magoo. I like that because it sounds like Mr. Magoo.
The death of Adam.
Front bottom.
Yo-yo smuggler.
Front butt.
Front butt.
It's a front butt.
I really loved front bottom.
I do too.
Mumble pants. Ninja boot.
Wizard sleeve.
Marsha.
Chasm of doom.
Slot pocket. Lawrence of Alabia.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one.
Penis parking. I don't know. Count Fapula.
Historical names for pussy.
Ooh, how did you get there?
Ah ha ha ah. Altar of Venus.
Oh, that's good.
Netherlands. Placket lace. Phoenix nest.
Chapel of Ease from 1600.
A cocksock.
Tinderbox.
International names for vagina. Papusa.
Glamity.
That's El Salvador.
Love glove.
Sapo is Chile.
Oh, but pupusas are also really delicious as food.
I know. Pepita. Her asshole neighbor.
That's fucking fantastic.
I like
Let's see.
Hot Pocket.
Stop.
Pink Panther.
Clunge.
Juice box.
Bean.
Fine China.
Box.
Flower pot. Banana basket.
Flower. Mary Ellen.
Punani.
Thingy.
Honey pot.
Minky.
Lady flower.
Vagine. Did
Coin
we say
purse.
vagina? Oh, man. I think that I'm out.
Cupcake. Cookie.
God damn it.
Beaver snapper snatch. Cooter kitty muff. Crotch lady bitch cha cha. Hoo ha. Lady bee. Lady business. Nether regions. Box.
I feel like I was underprepared. Oh, for fuck's sake. Republic of Labia.
And scene. Thank you for listening to Welcome to My Vagina. It's time for us to slide on out of here. Gross. You like that? Sometimes I make myself laugh.
We'd also like to thank our fantabulous producer, Caitlin Moldenhauer of More Banana Productions, for producing us. hosting us, and for helping us reach our goals. You guys, we are having an ongoing conversation, and we really want to hear your thoughts, questions, and concerns. So make sure to drop us an email at welcometomyvagina@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram, also welcome to my vagina. We might even discuss it on our next episode, kind of like we do with Jessy's mom. Also check out Jessy's videos at welcometomyvagina.com, and please subscribe to her YouTube channel, Welcome to My Vagina, so she doesn't have to bartend anymore.
So that we don't have to bartend
We don't
anymore.
have to. Read my blog.
Please check out franklyrebecca.com, where Rebecca slays you, politically smacks you, and reminds any misogynist to sit down and shut the fuck up because she's smarter than you, and that's a fact that I support.
Also, you can find us on Twitter at Welcome to My Vag because of that fucking letter limit. And if you want to support us, you can do that too. Just go to Patreon and type in Welcome to My Vagina Podcast and give us your money.
Give us your money. Thank you so much for listening, and we are stoked to prick your ears in 2 weeks. Bye! Rebecca, say bye.
Oh, bye. See you next Tuesday.